Well, and I mean, a big thing of the newer stuff, the more optimistic. I mean, is a whole besides the music, the audience participation. What do you think? What does that add to their experience and yours? It's a whole other dimension.
Well, yeah. I mean, there has to be some reptilian, archaic dimension in our minds that wants us to be together and experience something together. You know what I mean? You can watch a concert on TV and think, well, it's just a concert, who cares? But you could stand with other people at a concert, and it can really be a life-changing experience, you know? We used to do this thing, I think we started to do it, maybe it was even in Chicago. We would do this thing where I would, just one song during the set, I would talk to the audience and I would say, let's act like this is the greatest thing you've ever stood in front of, and let's just applaud for the whole song. Me sort of just acting like we're going to do that and let's see what happens. And we would know that we've concocted this moment where everybody's just applauding and screaming. But about halfway through this song, it would turn from being something that we all are pretending to do to something that we were actually doing. And it showed me a lot. It showed me, you know, to stand in front of people that are doing that, it's hard to be immune to it. It's so contagious that if people are standing next to you clapping and screaming, it makes you want to clap and scream. And of course, we've all been at sports events where you realize, you know, we are all going absolutely crazy. And really nothing in our life is going to change. Our team's either going to win or they're going to lose, and it really doesn't matter. But we make it seem like it is going to change the world if we win or if we lose. And I like that power. I like that power of being taken away from what we think is just normal life and elevating the whole thing to being some epic moment. And I think you can probably do that in other ways, but I think one of the ways you can do that is being around a lot of people who are experiencing the same thing, the same joy, the same zenith, the same energy at the same time. And so when I'm confronted with 20,000 people like we might be today, I use them and be like, well, this is another element that we can all get out of this. And music, you know, being that we're all here listening to music that we already like, there's a lot of things that people already like about being with each other. But yes, I think that is... that I don't know if we've learned that works, or if we're lucky enough that our audience allows it to work, and if we encourage them, they'll go ballistic. You know, I don't know if all audiences do that, but our audience is cool, and they're up for, you know, they like it. You know, so but yeah, it is. It's a very powerful moment. I don't know what it means. I don't know. You know, I mean, I get letters from people all the time who will talk about being at one of our shows and how it changed their mind about what their life meant to them, you know, and perhaps they were, you know, suicidal or whatever, and being at one of our shows changed their minds about that. I think there's probably a lot of bands would get that, but I think anytime you hear that from a real human saying that, it's great, you know.
Well, it's it's damn near impossible at a Flaming Lips show not to have fun.
I think that is exactly true. I think if you're not having fun, you're trying not to. You know, if you surrender just a little bit to all this stuff that's going on, and surrender to everybody else that's trying to get us up to that moment. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think sometimes we act like you kind of have to be stupid to have too much fun, and so we relegate all the really fun things to being stupid, but it's not true. I think we all want to surrender to this thing and know and maybe even if it is stupid, who cares? You know, I mean, if we try to analyze and hold back too much, we don't really get the full force of it. So I know. I think let's hope that keeps working. I don't really know why it works.
I was wondering.
I like your notes. How do you read those? Do you see his notes here? Look at that. Yeah.
It's cursive. Sometimes I can't.
Okay.
We'll talk about, you're working on a new album, if you want to.
Well, we've worked on it. I'm not sure what it's all about. I mean, we've worked on this record, probably one of the quickest records we've made in a while. It's about 8 or 9 months in the making, but it was a double record, so there's a lot of stuff.
And it's quicker, but yet it's a double.
It is. So, I mean, But we sometimes will take years to make records where a lot of the work is done in a couple of months anyway. So it's hard to tell with us. Sometimes I don't know if taking longer makes it better or if it just takes longer, you know. But this record, we were trying to get it out by the end of the summer. So we were just like, well, let's go in there. And we thought in the beginning that we had, I don't know, we thought we had, you know, 10 or 11 reasonably well thought out things that we would try. But like always, we're overconfident and we don't really know what we're doing. So by the time we went in there to try those, we had stumbled upon some really fresh new ideas. And we just went with those. So I think the record is really a series of us thinking we have an idea, stumbling upon some accident, and then pursuing the new idea. And so some of it is utterly strange, even by the standards of Flaming Lips music. I don't know if a lot of people would recognize it as Flaming Lips music. They may hear it and think, "Ooh, these weird guys sound a little bit like the Flaming Lips." If they had, I don't know, smoked some crystal meth and discovered, you know, that their computers and their drum machines don't work, and I don't know, because a lot of it's very organic and strange because we recorded it live at Steven's house, some of the tracks, and then we'd take them and enhance them up at Dave's studio with his computers and stuff. And so it's strange. I mean, some of it is played even very sloppily. Some of it is us like on the very first take of playing something we didn't even know we were going to play, just finding a rhythm. But for some reason it felt strangely exciting. I don't know if it'll sound that way to everybody. It sounded exciting to us. There's moments of music that, even though music is sort of meant sometimes to be, you know, played in unison, sometimes when it's not perfect, it is more, it communicates more because it's not. And so we try to find that in ourselves, of like, we get so used to refining our music and trying to make it better by making it louder and crisper and more in time and all these things. And I think that's why we called it embryonic in a way. We wanted to keep some of these things as just the very moment it was started, just the very moment we thought we had something to say, all right, let's leave that and not try to refine it, not to try to, you know, make it bigger and better. And so I don't know, I'm anxious about it, to tell you the truth. I don't know what people will think. You know, I know we like it, and I think in a sense, you know, for artists to go where their obsessions lead them, I mean, I think that's all we can hope for is just let them go.
You've always done that.
I have, and I'm not necessarily proud of that, but I think it's something about the nature of. I think that's why people, you know, want to work with me, because they know, well, we'll go there wherever it is we want to go. I think the worst thing that I could do is, after 14 records and all the support and even people like yourself believing us, saying, go for it, you know. I think the worst thing I could do would be to kind of try to calculate, what would be the cool music that the Flaming Lips could do. And so I sadly don't think I could ever really predict what the audience would want. I can only know what we want to do and what I want to do, and I just, for better or for worse, I think we do that. So I don't know. But it's I'm scared, but I'm always scared, you know. But